Hi from Zoans. Today we are going to talk about reverb on the EQ before or after compressor. So in this example, I'm using this simple drum loop, okay, and start with EQ. You can choose the one you prefer. Then I put, for example, the fruity limiter. Fruity limiter is also a compressor, so I can set the threshold and the reach. First of all, when you EQ before compressor, when I compress, okay, for example, okay, this is just compression. You can notice the level the sound reach. This is the line of threshold. When the sound goes over this line, is being compressed, okay? When you boost some frequency in the parametric EQ, okay, you are basically increasing the gain. In a fruity limiter, the violet represent the input sound, okay? If I increase, for example, the bend, here we go. You can notice we have more input gain. Otherwise, when I decrease the bend, you can notice this is before, and then I decrease, and you can notice the difference. I have less gain, okay? You are basically in this way decreasing the gain. So when you decrease the gain of the compressor, basically is like you are decreasing the threshold, okay? You can or you can increase the gain or decrease the threshold. What does it mean? The gain is the input sound. So for example, okay, this is the threshold line. Increasing, the sound is being more compressed, okay? We have also limiting. Okay, this is very compressed sound. So what does it mean if I increase the gain or decrease the threshold? It means that the sound is compressed not just in the higher part of the sound, in higher volume, but also in the lower part of the sound. If I increase the threshold or decrease the gain, okay, I'm compressing just the peak of the sound, okay? So the initial hit, okay, of the drum. And obviously, when you increase or decrease some frequency in the Q, you are changing the gain and the way the sound is being compressed. For example, if you boost this frequency, okay, so this frequency is more prominent. Basically, when you use a compressor after Q, you first of all, you are going to compress this frequency. So for example, if I have compressor, now I'm going to increase this. And this frequency, this kind of curve, is being more compressed than other frequencies. Otherwise, if you decrease this frequency is being maybe not compressed. The frequencies that are compressed are all the other. So this is very, very important to understand. When you EQ before a compressor, this is the result. If you EQ after the compressor, first of all, compress the sound, and then EQ the sound, for example, like this. Before, okay. If you can hear, the sound is more compressed at this frequency. You can clearly hear. So the difference is very important. So basically, when you EQ before compressor, you are compressing in different ways around the different frequencies. Depends the frequencies you boost, the way you boost, and the frequencies you decrease. Otherwise, when you EQ after compressor, so you are compressing the whole sound in the same way to the all frequencies. Obviously, the sound that are more louder, independently about the frequency, will be more compressed. Okay, the sound that are more quiet will be less compressed. Okay, independently about the frequency, because what trigger the compressor is the gain. So if you have more gain, the compressor is triggered. Okay, if you have less gain, the compressor, because you don't pass over the threshold line. So the answer is EQ before and after compressor. Depends the result you want obtain, and depends in which way you want to compress the sound. If you want to make a EQ and boost some bands, for example, and then put a compressor after, these frequencies you boost will be the first that are compressed in the compressor. If you put EQ after compressor, you are compress the sound in the original sound in the same way, and then boost frequency. So the frequency you boost will not be compressed again, because the compressor is set before. About reverb, you also obtain a different result. Okay, so if you put reverb before compressor, reverb increase the gain. So we have a reverb without and with. Okay, we have a more louder sound. If you compress after reverb, the sound is like this. Okay, if you reverb before the compressor, the reverb is being compressed. Basically, it's what happened. If you reverb after compressor, the sound is being before compressed, and the reverb is not being compressed. Okay, when reverb before and when reverb after compressor. Reverb before when you want to obtain this sound. So we want this kind of sound. In this case, the reverb is also too much compressed, but this technique is also used, okay, with some synth. And in this way, if reverb has too much dynamic and you want to control it, okay, put a compressor after the reverb. If you want a more natural result, so if, for example, you have voice and you want to before control it, because the voice maybe can have too much dynamic, so you want to control and then put reverb as you like in an acoustic room. Okay, in this case, put the reverb after the compressor. In this way, the reverb is not being compressed, because in nature the reverb is not being compressed. Okay, so if you want to master it and to control, and for example, in the master mixer track, you will not use reverb after compressor, unless you put a limiter after the reverb, okay? Because to control certain kind of too much dynamic to the sound, and you don't want to the sound is being disturbed, because the sound if you sound clip is not a good thing. But in most cases, in master mixer track, you don't put even reverb. I don't recommend to put the same reverb to your whole mix, unless you want to reproduce a certain kind of band that is playing at a certain ambient. Okay, you want to reproduce that. So in this case, okay, you can use the same reverb to the whole track. So you put the reverb maybe after compressor if you want to reproduce a more natural sound, and after limiting to prevent clipping, essentially. But in most cases, I don't recommend to put reverb in the master mixer track, because it's more natural. If a thing or a processor is or seems to be more natural, doesn't mean that it's better anyways. For my opinion, it's better to put a specific reverb for that kind of instrument, in order to bring the best out of that instrument. So if you have a cello, put certain kind type of reverb. If you have a piano, okay, put a certain kind of reverb that works perfectly with the sound and brings the best out from the sound. This is my opinion. So you have to find a true balance between what is more natural or emulate the nature, and what is better to the sound, because for me the most important thing is the final result. So keep in mind, don't don't have too much rules in your head. Follow your ears and pay attention, confronting things, and shows what sounds to you better. So if you have any question, let me know, give me a comment below, share this video with your friends, and we'll see you soon. Bye!